The new Social Development Minister, Susan Shabangu, is currently appearing before Parliament's Social Development Committee and promising no more extensions to the social grants contract with Cash Paymaster Services, despite suspending a new tender bid for cash payments. eNCA's Annika Larsen is in Cape Town. Annika, good afternoon to you. So no more contract extensions, but haven't we heard this before?
That's right, Jeremy. If I look somewhat perturbed, it's because the heavens are about to open on us. So let's just see how far we get. Yes, we have heard that there will be no more extensions to CPS. Minister Shabangu, though, clearly is in a very difficult position. She's been landed with a hot, sticky mess from her predecessor, Batabile Dlamini, and despite apparently telling MPs last week at a late committee sitting that she did not want to sign off on Social Development's annual performance plan, it turns out today that because of succession rules in Parliament and in Cabinet, she has no choice but to sign off on the performance plan and budget of SASSA and Social Development as drafted by the former Minister of Social Development, Batabile Dlamini, and just announced today, our suspicions confirmed that there is a fourth acting CEO in 3 years. This is now Abraham Mahlangu with Pearl Bengu, who was seen very much as an ally of Dlamini, asking to be moved back to KwaZulu-Natal.
Annika, at some point, Susan Shabangu also mentioning the word sabotage. Am I correct?
Yes, I mean, I think that has to be taken into context. I think she was talking about officials working at the department who were being unhelpful to very poor people standing in queues and not helping children who were standing for hours in queues, etc. I'm not quite sure if you know, we got the context of that was clear. But what was clear is that she's facing enormous challenges. She's got to deal and, as she said, take responsibility for what has already been given to her and signed off by the former minister. Bear in mind that there are 400 positions at SASSA that are sitting empty, vacancies, no staff. Those vacancies have been frozen. 8 out of 9 top executive positions at Social Development have also been frozen. So there are huge salary wages built into the budget, but no one to pay. There is no proper infrastructure or no organogram that has been set up at Social Development that makes any sense, which would allow for a budget to be passed, although the committee, it seems, has no choice but to pass it. And then just on the CPS issue, Shabangu saying we cannot spend our lives in the courts here. We need to take responsibility. SASSA was developed, it is created to pay out social grants, and therefore she had no choice but to suspend this cash bid, this contract for all the cash payments, which affects about 2.5 million people in rural areas, because there were irregularities and there were concerns and challenges. The word challenges was probably the key word, was used several times by the minister.
Annika, just finally, aside from the political and administrative machinations that you're outlining for us, fundamentally, has she done enough to allay fears that there is still a clear pipeline of payment going forward?
Look, she was quite adamant that nothing is going to change. The status quo remains. CPS will remain in place, delivering cash to people in rural areas until September. She did express some concern, saying CPS, Net1 and Grindrod Bank are all one, really, and they're charging 10 Rand to people for these cash payments, which she did not agree with. But she has tried to assure and calm people accepting those payments for cash grants that nothing will change. There will be a system in place. They will get their money. But ever since the IMC, that interministerial committee, was set up by Jeff Radebe to oversee this matter, this mess, since Batabile Dlamini's tenure, that has been their key message, to keep people calm and not to make people who are desperate worry more than necessary. So whether deep inside she's actually sitting with her new team and saying, oh my gosh, I don't know what we're going to do to actually get out of this, as she has no choice, to the public, she's certainly saying, please don't worry, all will be fine.